Hello, pre-calculus students. This is Mr. McAllen, and today we're going to be doing day 6 of the flipped classroom for trig functions. Today we're going to be working with trig functions of any angle, as long as the angle's reference angle is 30, 45, or 60. So let me just show you what that means. Again, we're focusing on reference angles of 30, 45, or 60. So when you draw an angle, if I give you an arbitrary angle, and let's say the angle is 120 degrees, in standard position, 120 degrees would be drawn like this, and the reference angle would be 60 degrees as shown here. Now the reference angle is one of the bow tie angles that we talked about. If we make a bow tie on our coordinate plane, each of these four triangles, 1, 2, 3, and 4, are the four reference triangles that we would use. So you have to be very careful in finding those reference triangles, and you have to remember that based on the angle I give you, that you know where 0, 90, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360 would be. So let's start off. We'll do the first one. We'll do the sine of 150 degrees. Now I set up a table down here so we just focus on those only. So the first thing you have to do is you have to draw the 150 degree angle in standard position. So I'm going to just draw that in using, here's the initial side. Since it's 150 degrees, it opens up almost to 180. So this is 150 degrees. I'm going to draw the reference triangle, or that bow tie angle. The y side is pointing up, the x side is pointing to the left, and the radius is the radius. And since I know that's 30 degrees, I'm going to draw where the side should go based on a 30, 60, 90. I know that the opposite side of a 30, 60, 90, or of a 30 degree angle is 1. The adjacent is root 3, but that's going to be negative because it's pointing to the left. And the hypotenuse is 2. So the quadrant that we're in for 150 is quadrant 2. The reference angle is 30 degrees. The trig ratio for the sine of 150 is the same as the trig ratio as written for that 30 degree. So the sine of 150 degrees is going to equal the opposite side over the hypotenuse. You would have a 1/2 ratio. Now let's turn our attention to another angle. So I'm going to cross this off because we've already done this one. Let's work on the cosine of 210 degrees. I'm going to draw my coordinate system. I'm going to draw my angle 210. So draw 210 degrees in standard position. So I'm going to use I'll use red to represent the initial side. And I'm going to rotate this angle all the way to 210. That is at 180. I'm going to go a little bit past. This is going to equal 210 degrees. So what is my reference angle here? Here's my downside. That's going to be, and then here's my, oh, I'm going to draw this in a different color just so we don't confuse it too. So I'll use blue. So here's the x component, the y component pointing down, and this angle, because this was 180 degrees, I went 30 degrees beyond it. So my reference angle again is 30. That doesn't happen all the time. The reference angle will either be 30, 45, or 60. So this side is -1 this time. This side is negative root 3, and the hypotenuse is 2 based on my 30, 60, 90 triangle. What is the cosine of this angle? Cosine, remember, is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the cosine of 210 degrees is equal to negative root 3 over 2. So it's in quadrant 3. Just answer the chart questions. The reference angle is again 30 degrees. Doesn't happen all the time. And the answer to the cosine of 210 degrees is negative root 3 over 2. Now I have a question for you to try. And I'm just going to cross out what I don't want you to do because we've already done this. We filled these parts out in the chart. I want you to do the tangent ratio of 315 degrees. So remember the steps. Draw 315 in standard position. Find the reference triangle. Label the sides based on 30, 60, 90 or 45, 45, 90. And then find your trig ratio. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video, and then when you come back, you'll see the answer displayed. So pause your video, and good luck. Okay, well, we're back, and I've got everything drawn out. I've got the 315 degree drawn out. We're in quadrant 4. We have the reference angle specified. It's 45 degrees. The sides of the triangle are specified, and the answer for the tangent of 315 degrees is -1 for the opposite over 1 for the adjacent. There's the opposite, there's the adjacent. So the tangent of 315 degrees is equal to -1. Hopefully this video has helped you understand how to work with these special angles for trigonometry, and I look forward to your comments in the future.